Welcome to a new video on my driving rolling robot discovery based on the fischertechnik TXT controller, which runs embedded Linux and in my case is programmed in online mode using Python. Therefore I use the ROBOPro API application programming interface, and the focus objective is to write a trajectory from somewhere here to the object, and then using sonar, active sonar, two touch sensors to stop or avoid and come to a halt, with an LED to signal that something is going to happen, course strategy, or which distance it is at, depending on the number of times the LED is blinking. Then propeller, which shows if the algorithm is still running. Unfortunately, still no camera, which used to be on top of the sonar, but there was a kernel change and that disabled the camera, at least in the way the API for the camera was written. So there was no use, and in my software currently disabled. Two objects to be detected, and the problem right now is that there is, with the motors, this one and that one, in opposite direction. You can, there are pulse motors, and you can query for the distance. So you set the distance, and the distance gets smaller until 0, and you can count a counter which counts up, and that doesn't really match up. So last time I added sonar to see if that comes close. But first, let me start the controller. I started in the community firmware, which enables me to use my own IP address and thus access it from the network. If I use the standard firmware, it acts like a network server, and well, for those people that may be enough, but not for me. And for all the stuff I do, I need to go to the graphical user interface of the standard firmware. So now it is ready to go. I just have to log in, and for that I will show you on screen. So as you can see, different camera, but on screen now. I still have to log in, and that goes with password, and I set the whole thing up to make sure that everything is transferred nicely. That I have done that, by the way, to nicely control and send all images with the camera. So without the camera it is actually not really necessary, but I'll just leave it in because I hope sometime I can reconnect the camera and use it for what I really want to use, tracking the red color of the objects. So the basket under this one is red, that one has a red part, and so it should recognize red stuff. I also have other red colored objects, and that should all work, but for now without the camera it's just trajectory. Anyway, we're in here as well. Then, no, this one. So I write here to data log. Calling FT-ROBOPro, calling or importing, actually, you start using it, then also start using date time for timestamp, timestamping all images, which is currently disabled. Open CV for use for the imaging, and you can see here that I have disabled the camera. And going down, let's see, here you can see that I have disabled the camera completely. Here I would have called the camera action procedure or function, but that won't work for now. Anyway, one thing more before I really start. I have to set the date manually, because the set a battery, which is a standard CR button cell, and it's depleted, and when I replaced it, it was depleted in no time again, so I decided not to replace it. So now I have to set the date to 11th, and time is 14:48, and yes, that is 24-hour time, which is used in my time zone, or at least in the part of the world that I live. Anyway, that is all correct, and it's now 49. Okay, done. It's a little bit behind, but I don't care. Now, yeah, what I wanted to show, data. All going nicely. Then sonar, and that shows that distance is counted less, and counter and distance are the same. That may be so, but that shouldn't be. At least at start, the counter should be 0 and the distance should be the full number and not the other way around, or not both the same. So counter should be 0. So let's start again. Putting the robot right here, objects a bit behind, next to each other, and I hope the trajectory is in a straight line, and because it also has the tendency for some reason to go in a curve. Anyway, let's see whatever happens. Go. and that's touch. Yep. And now you see here the LED. And another problem, it says just turn to the right, which it doesn't do. And last time I checked on the motor setting, and it just turns to the right. So what it actually should do, and for that I should actually start ROBOPro, which is the original graphical programming language for the TXT controller and anything other that is computing by fischertechnik. Alright, that's a bit much. And now I have to set, okay, that is set, correct IP address. This is working, that is nice. This only works, by the way, when I have the graphical user interface of the standard one, not the community one, then it won't connect. Anyway, this says just to turn to the right, which is here. Okay, I need to find another one. See, that is this one. So the right set motor is then set to a positive speed of 125. And I'm not quite sure which motor that is, but we'll see soon enough. So 125. Oh, I can't do that like that. 125. Go. Ah, look at that. That is acting very slowly, if at all. No wonder it isn't doing anything. Okay, stop. Other direction. It doesn't do a thing. That means that I have to increase the speed. To, let's say, 250. See, that is more like it. Sort of. Because now it doesn't do anything either. This is better. Yeah. Now it does do something. What is the battery voltage by now? 9, okay, 8 point something. This means that I have to change my algorithm in value. That is quite something. Okay, nice idea to test it. So, this is setting of the speed, so this will have to be at least 250. This will have to be at least minus 150, which also means that I have to change that for draai naar links, turn to the left, So maybe, just maybe, this will work out now. So, robot back to start. Go. That is distance check. See, that is what I want. And yes, it took a turn to the left and to the right because of the sensors. So first this one impressed, which turned that way. Then that one pressed, and so it turned that way. This is what I want to see. But now it says battery is 7, which says I have to check it. No, this one says 8.5. I'm going to gamble that that is true. If not, I'll have to replace. Alright. Another one. Okay, it comes within distance. It doesn't touch. Oh, that was just like last time. The last few runs last time in the former episode, that was the same thing. It didn't even. It's just stopped. Battery voltage is 8.2, so I'm not too worried now. But this is annoying that it doesn't complete the whole thing. Yeah, go. It doesn't touch. Yes, it does touch, but not completely. Okay, it did a very short turn to the right, which in itself is alright, but considering the fact now that right here with this outstanding part, it cannot be pressed, so I need to turn this. Next attempt. And now I'm only watching at turning to the left or turning to the right. Yeah, and now it completely passes this object. Yeah, go. Yeah, no, it doesn't do a thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to improve this. Let's go again. But the battery voltage goes down. This should be a hit, but isn't. How about annoying? This is looking good. No. Yes. Right. And this is excellent. This is exactly as I want to see it. Alright. Conclusion, the turning speed was too low. How about that? So now I can refocus to either to the contacts and distance, to counter and distance difference. And on the forum I haven't got any difference, any answer I mean to my question, so that's not nice. Now another thing is of course what I can do with turning with the motors for turning right, turning left. Why don't I do it for counter inputs? Question is, how will that work? Right, let's just check. And now it doesn't matter anymore if it touches, I just want to count. So let's just roll. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Ouch. Okay, that was the wrong direction clearly. So, one more, another attempt with counterclockwise. And unfortunately I can't do both, but it counts quite fast on the distance. So, yeah, lower the speed, not too low. Steps, no, I want 8. To 50 seems like a reasonable count. This one as well. Why 8? Just like this is good enough. So let's go. Counter, counter. That is a reasonable speed, also a reasonable count. So if I translate this to the software, I should have a count, because if I look at the speed being set during the rest of the algorithm, let's see how fast it actually is. No, not contact. This is sonar distance, sonar. 125. So that actually is quite slow. Quite slow. So if I change this to 125, it should even be better simulated. Try it. Alright, this is better to do. So one more attempt. Counter, counter. Alright, stop, stop. Yeah, okay, so, oh wait, let's reset. And go again. So, counter, counter. Okay, that's enough. So, in that distance it should have a counter of 350. Now, look at the data. Here we start. Counter 35, okay, to the end. Counter is 1, it counts down. So ROBOPro correctly counts up and this one counts down, so that is not good as I see it. One more test, and I'm afraid then time is up. Well, final test then for this time. Go. And another thing is, does it even remember settings? Okay, it has apparent, yeah, okay, it's 77 and this is A3. So okay, I trust ROBOPro in this one more than the other. But what I wanted to see is count all 0. And looking here, counter 0, counter 0. Here also 22. At a distance of 25 to 30. Distance left is 262. Covered distance is 36, but this makes no sense to me. Okay. Rather strange. Not quite sure what to think of it. Can I clear it? I have to consult the manual for that. Not quite sure right now. So I'll leave it at that for now. And like I said, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment or suggestion, which is much appreciated. You can also follow me via Instagram and Twitter. Very much appreciated is also if you show your appreciation and support by making a donation via either PayPal or Wired. And you can also become a patron and have your name mentioned, which will be mentioned on my website and depending on the pledge you make, also with my videos. All information, including the URL on which you can find all information on donating and more about other projects and this one, under this video. This is obviously going to be continued. Have a nice day and